The royal wedding of Princess Eugenie, the daughter of Prince Andrew, and Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, and her now husband, Jack Brooksbank, in front of almost all of the senior royals and a multitude of British and global celebrities. Watching it all and leading our coverage just outside the chapel, but within the castle grounds, is our Thomas Daigle, who of course has a real point of comparison because he was right there for Harry and Meghan's wedding in May of this year, and now the second big royal wedding of 2018. What's been going on there, Thomas?
Well, everything's kind of being taken down now. The crowds are leaving Windsor, and just as a point of comparison, the crowds were, of course, much bigger for the wedding of Harry and Meghan just a few months ago. I don't think the goal was ever to try to match that. The crowd inside the church was bigger. They invited more people, 850 guests inside St. George's Chapel compared to about 600 inside the same chapel for Harry and Meghan's wedding. But they did make subtle changes to avoid those comparisons. Yes, they didn't have that gospel choir that Harry and Meghan had, but they had, well, Andrea Bocelli, very famous Italian tenor, singing inside. They had a carriage procession as well, but didn't go along that long walk, the last stretch where the big crowds, the thousands, had gathered to see Harry and Meghan during their carriage procession. I think to avoid today comparisons to the crowd size from May, and they had Eugenie's sister, Princess Beatrice, read from The Great Gatsby, the F. Scott Fitzgerald novel, which, as far as I can tell, is unique to this royal wedding. They did it their way, and it seems it went well. Heather.
Well, yes. I mean, everything I'm seeing on social media, very favorable. People loving seeing the Queen and Prince Philip as we're looking at the screen right now, and loud cheers for them and for the other senior royals who were there, almost all of the senior royals there. And something else that you would have noticed that was similar, Thomas, I mean, it struck me that there was a real overlap in some of the celebrities on the guest list here and from Harry and Meghan's wedding.
There were, just from our vantage point here on this rooftop within the walls of Windsor Castle, we saw, I think it was Cara Delevingne, who is a A-list model, I am told, right now. James Blunt, singer, Robbie Williams, whose daughter was part of the wedding. He is, of course, a huge star here in Britain, and so is his wife. Of course, notably absent, Prince Charles's wife, Camilla, and this is officially because of a previous engagement in Scotland today, but there are many stories going around as to how this speaks to this internal rivalry within the royal family, as to how it will take shape, what it will look like after the Queen is gone, and whether it will go the way Prince Charles wants it, which is sort of a trimmed down royal family focused mainly on his direct family, compared to what Prince Andrew wants, and that's to have his daughters in the spotlight. That's what you saw today, Heather.
You know, it's so interesting. There are all sorts of family storylines because there was a lot of interest in whether Prince Philip would show, rumored to be not speaking for years to Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, Princess Eugenie's mother, of course, but there he was on those stairs as the couple emerged, and he was there for the ceremony as well. Another area of interesting controversy, Thomas, is the cost of this wedding. Now, why is that particularly irritating to some?
Well, it is the fact that Princess Eugenie isn't exactly a household name. The royal family is covering the cost of the ceremony here at St. George's Chapel, but the security and the cleanup, the cost of that is being picked up by the British taxpayer, whether they want it or not. And what added to the cost is this carriage procession through Windsor. The early estimates for the security costs are upwards of 2 million British pounds. That's what, $3.5 million Canadian. There was a petition, more than 40,000 signatures handed to a British Labour MP. So this is going to go through Parliament now, its own way, saying that no taxpayer money should have paid for this at all. Here's that MP. Listen.
Apart from those who've signed it. I mean, to me, it's unconscionable that a minor member of the royal family who doesn't even have a role is having her dream wedding subsidised, when in the same borough which she's moving into, in Kensington, We have food banks. We have people literally starving.
Now, the party continues today with the Queen hosting an afternoon tea, and the party's then going to continue at the Great Lodge, which is where Eugenie and Beatrice grew up with their parents, who, of course, are officially separated but still live together there. Just one of the unique factors in this wedding today, Heather.
Yes, the many unique touches. Thomas, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the coverage all morning long. Thomas Daglin, Windsor, as we look, getting some of these video scenes now as some of the senior royals, as Katie Nichol told us, the Magnificent Seven, William and Catherine, and Prince Harry and Meghan to his right, as they took their places, not as part of the party, but certainly prominently, and Prince Charles minus Camilla and the Queen and Prince Philip as they arrived just before the bride. Now, watching this, the Queen, grandmother to Princess Eugenie, she calls her Granny. They are very close, but as Laura McQuillan joins us to pick up on some of this story, she doesn't have a working role. And that has some people talking about the wedding today and her place within the family.
That's right, we are hearing that criticism, and it is in part because Eugenie, not a full-time working royal, she does have a job. She is the Associate Director of an art gallery in London. She's works in the art community in Britain, and that's a very important issue for her. She also has her own charity. It's an anti-slavery collective. So she has a few things on the go, even though we say she's not a full-time royal, but she is 9th in line to the throne, and we can show you how that looks. So you can see that she is quite far away from succeeding to the British throne. You can see the Queen there at the top, and it goes down via Prince Charles, William and his children, then Harry, then Prince Andrew, who is Eugenie's father. It would go to her older sister Beatrice before it got to her. So 9th in line to the throne, and in the wedding party today we actually saw a few faces who are ahead of Eugenie on that line of succession, including young Prince George and Princess Charlotte, both in the back there in the wedding party, and of course Beatrice, the maid of honour today as well. Those other youngsters in that group include the daughter of singer Robbie Williams, who we heard was at the wedding today, among the many famous faces there, Heather.
Looking at that beautiful dress from Peter Pilato and Christopher DeVos, many unique touches in her choices. Tell us about some of those.
That's exactly right. I want to show you a closer view of this dress because it was specially designed for Eugenie. You can see the back there, that V shape, and the long train as well. Now, we know that some archival research into past royal wedding dresses was used to help create the silhouette for this, but with that V back, a personal touch requested by Eugenie, because when she was 12 years old, she had back surgery. She had 2 titanium rods inserted into her spine for scoliosis, and you can see there on her back her scar from that running down the middle of her back. She wanted to show that today. She's the patron of orthopaedic charities now, and this is a proud occasion for her. She's not afraid to show it off, and other personal touches with this dress as well. The fabric specially woven with motifs in it, including a rose to symbolise the York family, of course, her parents, the Duchess and Duke of York. Other motifs representing Scotland, Ireland, and ivy also representing the Ivy Cottage, where the couple lives at Kensington Palace. Also today, that tiara that she's wearing, borrowed from the Queen, with that enormous 93-carat stone in the centre. Platinum, diamonds, other emeralds featuring in that. It's a 99-year-old tiara passed down to the Queen by her own mother, who received it from a friend of Queen Mary. And actually we have one other detail to share with you this hour too. It's about the gift bags that guests have been receiving, as well as those members of the public invited in to see the big day. These bags here, they're being called Key to Freedom bags, and Key to Freedom is an initiative that the York family started. It helps sell products made by young women, young artisans in West Bengal in India. It helps them learn skills to earn an income, so an important charity for the family. And in those gift bags they'll find a giant chocolate coin, a special royal magnet and can of water, and also a plastic poncho. Of course, it's a must-have at a royal wedding, but today the rain didn't come down. The royal couple were very lucky in that regard, Heather, so a beautiful, albeit windy day for their wedding.
Thank you very much. You understand all the symbolism so much better now. Thank you, Laura, for helping us figure out those unique touches. Laura McQuillan as part of our royal wedding coverage here. Now, as we look again at more scenes from that beautiful 15th century St. George's Chapel, where so many weddings have occurred and important royal occasions, all smiles for the couple.